Welcome, welcome to this edition of Business Takeout. And today on The Soul of Business, we have Mr. WesHype. Welcome, Wes.
How you doing?
I am so happy to have you here. So today,
Happy to be here.
I'm glad you're happy to be here. I think a lot of people are going to be really happy after this conversation. So I'm going to have Wes introduce himself and tell you a bit about what he does. But before that, I have to put in my 2 cents. So He is a certified boss. That would be a Black-owned success story. And he has so many interesting things to share. And as you know, here on Business Takeout, we have the leaders, the doers come to teach, to give you advice, all of you out there that are starting your businesses or are in business and want to hear from the people who get it done. But the other thing that we do here on The Soul of Business is we talk about the soul, where what matters to the person, what social issues affect them, affect their business. And going through Wes's social media, I'm very tempted to just talk to him about all the issues, but we always got to get the gems dropped. So we will start there. So Wes is management. He manages several international comedians. And I was just talking to him about someone local who we will get to, but I'm sure you all have heard of Majah Hype, who is absolutely hilarious and has the ability to take on any Caribbean accent, along with some African ones and American ones. We have White Yardie, who drops the jokes, and it's really a cultural thing, not just a skin color thing. And I discovered Tristan Clunas, who I'm still trying to figure out, is he a comedian or is he a real estate agent? And what I figured out is he's a bit of both. We have For Us 360 with Wes, which Wes will tell us about. And then there's also the Juice Comedy Toronto. So Wes, once again, welcome. And if you can give a little summary, because I don't think the half an hour is enough to say all that you do. So I'm going to ask you to simmer it down to the essence of what you do and tell the people who you are.
No, that you did a good job. And the simple way that I normally just introduce myself is professional risk taker, entrepreneur. That can just apply to, because if I start listing off all of the things that I'm involved with and all the things that I do, it sounds like you really start to think like, yo, like, is this guy all over the place? Is this guy for real? But there's a thread that connects everything together that makes it very easy to go in from one thing or out of one thing and into another. But you hit it. The certified boss is that's new actually. BOSS is an acronym for Black-owned success story, and that's I'm starting a nonprofit organization called Project B.O.S.S. Project B.O.S.S is all about helping small Black businesses with their marketing, branding, customer service, everything business oriented. We're going to be subsidizing different services provided by another one of my companies, as well as a team that I've put together that specialize in doing these things for big corporations. And I just don't think that we should, our small Black businesses should have services that are subpar just because they can't afford it. Because at the end of the day, part of the reason why they can't afford it is because they're using subpar services. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's kind of a catch-22, a vicious cycle. So that's the newest of all the things that you talked about. Yeah, I've been doing Juice Comedy, Canada's biggest producers of Black comedy, North America's biggest producers of Caribbean comedy. That's been we're supposed to be our 10-year anniversary this year, but with the whole COVID thing, we aren't able to do any shows to celebrate that. But hey, yay, 10 years!
Yes, yay, 10 years!
Yeah, we'll just celebrate here. Yeah, you hit all of them. Missed a few. Also, co-owner of the Cold Compress. We just want the man up to be healthy. Cold pressed juices. A couple other things, but we'll stop there. We'll stop there.
Okay, you said something that I really do want to touch on, that you do a lot of different things, but there's a common thread that runs through them, right? Yeah. And I think with everybody kind of DIYing business, and there's a lot of things we can start and do on our own, you do see that in business where people are involved in a lot of different things. But I think that the mistake comes in when the things are disconnected, like you sell tires and bras, you know, and people try to figure out where it goes. So when you say there's a common thread, Wes, what is the common thread?
Well, the thing that if there was one thing that I do exceptionally well outside of outworking people, it's marketing. marketing, branding, advertising, that is the thing that I am really, really good at. And I've been good at that since 11 years old when I did my first video yearbook for my school in elementary school. And because the marketing, advertising, branding aspect of things, and they're very, very different things, but a lot of times with small businesses, they all get compiled into one thing, one person, one objective. That is really what makes or breaks a lot of businesses. You can be a company that doesn't really produce the greatest product or have the greatest service, but if you're marketed really well, you'll do well. And the reason why my businesses have done well is essentially because of that marketing. And then I align with the right people to make sure that we can back it up with a good product or a good service.
Absolutely. I was just speaking about that in terms of the music industry, that you'll see people who have massive talent, but because they don't have the right backing, they never go anywhere.
100%. My brother, Daniel Daly Division, who's actually signed to OVO. Division is 1985, and Daniel Daly, the singer. And even though they're signed to OVO, they're still what I would consider underground. And he's by far the most talented singer I have ever encountered. And by the way, I've met some pretty big singers. Mm-hmm. I never heard anybody sing Usher better than Usher.
Right.
Right. So it's a common thing. Like just talent, unfortunately. Sorry. There's just talent, unfortunately, is not a thing that that really gets you through to the end. Unfortunately, I wish we lived in a world where the most talented people were the most successful. But then again, the entrepreneur inside of me, and like I said, like after or before the branding thing, outworking people is my thing. I don't wish that the most talented people were the most successful people, because hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Right. And I think that that's fair. There's people that have been blessed with God-given abilities and they squander them and they're not successful, and they deserve to be not successful because they squandered them. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer that if you weren't born with the most God-given talent, but you're able to outwork the next person, you deserve to win. So, I mean, in another light, it's pretty fair.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, because I see some people with really mediocre talents, and I'm talking people at the top of the industry winning Grammys, and when you really listen to them sing, or if you watch them dance, that really is a lot of polished production. But they have juggernaut publicists and teams behind them, keeping them relevant, keeping them on. So it's not really their talent, but there is some talent, obviously, but it's the force behind them that keeps them.
And that's where it's a little bit convoluted. That's where I get a little bit gray. It gets convoluted when a team picks you up and says, okay, we're going to make you the next star. But if you put in the work with the PR, and you put in the work with the dancers, and you align with the best camera people to give you the best music videos, and you put all of that together, and you're not the best singer, but you had the #1 record and you had the #1 brand, slow clap.
But that's
slow clap, right? For you. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's fair. When it comes to the not what you know, but who you know aspect of the industry, whatever, that's where it gets a little gray and convoluted. I'm like, there's some people that don't deserve to be here. And then we're looking at social media. I know all about these social media stars. Some of them pop up like nothing, like Cash Me Outside. How about that? All of a sudden she has recording contracts and record deals and all this. So there is a very bad side to like where it's not hard work at all, that things that just connect. But I'm not mad at that either. It's some people win the lottery and that's why they're rich. Some people have worked 25 years in the same job and do it really well, and that's why they're rich.
Right. And to kind of play with that winning the lottery analogy, you could win the lottery and be broke a month later, or 100%. You can win the lottery and build on that and make it even more than 100%. You won initially. So I think
we can name a bunch of one-hit wonders. We can name a bunch of one-hit wonders.
Tons of one-hit wonders, and then just some people that just stayed middle of the line and wrote it out for years. So absolutely. And I love that, Jem. And for those of you that are taking notes during these classes, because remember, the doers have come to teach, right? And as he said, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And having a common thread through your different businesses will help keep you cohesive and not, even though to some it may seem you're all over the map, but you have a common thread that's running through your businesses, keeping you on track and keeping you focused. So in all of this, I mean, we're going to get to the social aspect of your awesomeness shortly, but first we're going to talk about the business part of it. And I mean, White Yardie, Majah Hype. I'm a big Majah Hype fan. Like really, I actually avoid watching his videos for periods of time so that I actually have a bunch of them that I can
so you can binge watch. Yes.
I just binge watch, you know, a few episodes. As a Caribbean Canadian woman, I so appreciate the accuracy of those accents and all the sounds, you know, because English Caribbeans say eh, and Haitians say oh, and you got to know that to know that. So I appreciate that.
And Grenadians say
right? And then White Yardie too, again, that cultural aspect of understanding the Caribbean culture and the jokes and the nuances that go with that. We were talking about Tristan earlier. You guys got to get on that.
I love that Tristan is in this conversation.
I
love that he's in the conversation.
I love Tristan. I hope you're out there. You need to share out this video, okay? Because we're talking about you.
You will definitely share out the video.
You got to go check out Wes's page. We're going to drop all the links after, but you can get yourself some comedy. And he's not even the comedian. That's what's funny about this, okay? He's not even the comedian, but there's jokes on his page. But even more importantly, there are two things I want to touch on before we talk about giving away pies and what you give back and how you give back. Forest 360.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Found out more about it. Can you tell the people more about Forest 360, what it is and what it's for?
Well, okay. So Forest 360 is the thorn in my side for about 3-4 years, where I was just like, somebody needs to do this. You know what I mean? It bothered me like, yo, somebody needs to do this. Somebody else. I'm touring. I'm doing all these other businesses, and this project that I see here is a huge project, both important and a money-making project. So somebody needs to do this. And one of my boys wanted to do it. Shout out my boy, DJ Loudmouth. He had brought it up to me a few times, and I gave him little nuggets on how he can go about creating this, but I did not want to really get too into that conversation. I gave him tips, and I did not really want to get into that conversation because I don't do anything halfway. I go all out with pretty much everything that I do. And if I can't go all out with it, then I don't do it. Like I was managing a singer last year, and we were really supposed to, she really wanted me to stay on because of how much we did in the period that we were together, but I couldn't. This is 3 months. I dedicated the 3 months to it. On the last day of that contract, I was done with it. Not because she wasn't an amazing singer that I didn't believe it, but it was too time consuming, right? So on that same level, I did not want to touch Forest 360. Now, Forest 360 is an international Black-owned business directory, and it's starting off as a website that we're going to elevate into an app, a phone app, right? And the like Pandora's box, the can of worms that you open with Forest 360 is there's so many levels to how badly we need this in our community. Just off the main fact that if I want to go, I'm a big believer in the mentality that not one single one of my dollars should leave the Black community if possible. Right? If I can go my entire life without spending another dollar outside of my race, then I would do that. And the reason why I would do that is because we are so far set back that my race, my Black people need all the help. So if I know everyone's not going to make that commitment. So if I could make that commitment, I would. Where do we start with that commitment? You say, okay, cool. You wake up in the morning, want to go for coffee. Where do you go? You need to be able to have a place where you can look and find every Black service that you need, so you can start crossing off the list. Okay, cool. I couldn't get Black coffee, so I couldn't buy coffee from a Black-owned business, so I got to go to Tim Hortons. And then I want you to log that information. I want you to tell me what you did and where you went and why. That way we have a list of all these businesses that need to be created, because if 1,000 people tell me in 1 month that in Pickering there's need for a Black owned coffee shop, now I can go to my brother that's like, I need to get out of what I'm doing. I need somewhere to invest my dollars. I don't want to work this 9 to 5. And I say, you know what? 1,000 people last week asked for a Black owned coffee shop in Pickering. That sounds like an amazing idea. Let's put that into effect, right? Then we need the funding, we need the grants, we need the marketing, and we need the branding, we need this, we need that. So it's why I love For-Us 360 so much and hate For-Us 360 so much, is because there's just no end to the amount of things that you can bring into this app and this website. And the way that my mind works, I literally have to break it down stage by stage by stage and say, Wes, no, just do this. Don't worry about the fact that you want to have a point system where you can trade in and track how much dollars you're spending in the Black community. Don't worry about bringing it into a cashless society where you can bring in Apple Pay and this, that, and the third. Don't worry about the app that's going to be GPS located and tell you how many Black-owned businesses there are in your vicinity that you can support. Don't worry about the advertising. Don't worry about this. There's so many things. There's so many aspects. And it's actually through through For-Us 360 that Project B.O.S. was born, because I'm like, I can't even feature a lot of these Black businesses that provide excellent service or excellent products because I don't like the way that they look. I'm not going to take that photo that was taken on an iPhone that I feel looks like crap and clutter up or a lack of a better word, soil my For-Us 360 super professional brand with your bad branding. You need to step your branding up to where my branding is. But we're together and we're working on this together. So you know what? I need a nonprofit organization to help these people, because I don't want to be like, okay, your branding sucks, you stay where you are. That's not what this is about. This is about uplifting and helping each other. So I need now a completely next organization that's only about uplifting each other and helping each other, so I can still be the corporation that has the standards that I want. You know what I mean? So it's just, you go down this rabbit hole of all these interconnected companies and all these interconnected services and all these interconnected people that really have to come together, and stressing that importance to our community is my top priority right now. Number one, the mentality of spending money within your community, that should be your top priority. We did the first thing that was done for For-Us 360 when it didn't even have a name yet was we created a Black owned list of nail salons. There was a meme that went out and said, all you guys have been saying this Black Lives Matter stuff. And the second we get into phase 2 and the nail salons are open up, you're running to the Koreans to get your nails done. And there's nothing wrong with going to the Koreans to get your nails done, except for the fact that you don't even consider people who look like you, who don't have the same opportunities that a lot of other races have. You haven't even considered them as an option. You just said, I need to get my nails done. I'm going to where it's the cheapest. I'm going to where it's I have the easiest access. I'm going to where I know. And we need to train ourselves and each other to go that little extra step in helping each other and building each other, because we really need all the help in building as we can get. And that's my number. If I died and accomplished even just saying in Toronto, adjusting that mentality and being able to have other people think differently like that, like they do in Atlanta, that would be good enough for me. That would be good enough for me. I don't care about how many shows we sell out with Majah Hype. I don't care about how much juice we sell. I don't care about how much money I made. If I can just simply change that one thing of one city's mentality within our race, if we're like, oh yeah, no, we don't do that here. We support our own here. We look for the option. If I had people thinking just that one thing, I'm done. I'm good. Tap out. Tap out. I can die a happy person.
Wow. For-Us 360 is, I looked it up and I was reading about it and I thought it was really amazing. But then hearing you speak about all the potential, it's blowing my mind. And like you, I too sometimes have to just pull myself back. I'm like, Erica, today, deal with today right now, and all those other things you will get there. But you think so far ahead. And that idea of finding the businesses that are missing, not only listing what's there, but figuring out what is needed, what is wanted, what's in demand that people don't have and don't have access to, that opens up, like you said, this whole other world of possibilities where now it's like the research is already done. When you go to apply for this and that, you could say, you know what, I know that X amount of people during this time period have asked for this thing in this area. That is absolutely mind blowing. Yeah. That is,
and the reason why I don't mind talking to you about these ideas, and I have been talking about these ideas on my platform and other people's platform, is because I'm only one person, And if somebody else was able to come up with just that idea or take my idea and build that aspect out that I can work with, I'm down. You can make $1 billion off that idea. I'm good. My ideas come like nothing. I don't have a problem giving away $1 billion idea for somebody else to eat. Because if I have the application and you're building an application that all it does is track what's needed, right? That's it. Like how Squarespace connects with Instagram. Squarespace is when you go and type in the location in Instagram, there's a completely separate company that just does the location aspect of Instagram. When you go and integrate your map into all these different applications, Google has their thing that they do. We do this the best. We need to work together. And that needs to happen in the Black community. So I have no problem sharing my ideas in hopes that I don't have a problem with somebody else outside of our race that didn't try to sell it to us. That I would have a problem with. But the fact, if another Black entrepreneur invested in that idea, I have absolutely no problem with it. It gets me to my goal faster because now we can work together, and now I'm not building this all myself. But once you have that, now you can bring in an investment group, right? And we can do group investing together. And we can say, you know what? Here are the top 10 business ideas in these areas. The same way when you're gonna go buy a McDonald's or a Tim Hortons franchise, you don't get to choose where your franchise is. You get to choose out of a list of locations, but they have already done research and saying on this corner, this is where a McDonald's will be successful. Who wants this McDonald's that's gonna be built here, right? If we were able to say this corner is where a car wash is going, this corner is where a dry cleaners is going, this corner is where a body shop is going. Who wants to bid on writing the business plans for us to invest in you? You don't even have to have all the bread. You got to write the best plan that we believe that you can do this, and let's work together on putting it together, right? And everybody that's invested in this, from the investors to the entrepreneurs that have been, to the regular customers that have been saying, we need a car wash here, we need a mechanic here, we need a body shop here, to the people that are applying for it, we're now all invested in this process. So when it opens, it's destined to flourish because we've all built this together. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've all come and built this together.
Wow, this is like true community building and not random, we put it up and it worked real well and we're so proud. No, this was preordained. This was decided, and this isn't by accident or incident. This was a plan. And this is an amazing concept. And you said something which again ties into so many of the successful people that I've spoken to. I feel that the small-minded, short-sighted entrepreneurs, business people, always live in fear of someone eating their piece of pie. And so they put up blocks, they put up all kinds of things they don't want to teach. That always amazes me when someone's doing something really well and they do not want to share the information. It's kind of like back in the day where somebody would say to you, oh, where'd you get those shoes? And you'd lie and you'd say New York, but you really got them in town. You just didn't want nobody else to go get them.
New York, and they still be, you like, oh, yo, where'd you get those shoes? Hey, chill, bro, chill. You don't worry about that, fam. You ain't got to worry about this. You like those. They ain't telling you either. Right? They ain't telling you either. They're not showing no information.
They're not telling you. So this idea that I got to protect and I got to protect my piece of pie, what I don't get is there's like 7 billion people. It is amazing to me. There are people who make a living selling cat raincoats. You have to truly understand that. Somebody out there pays a mortgage, pays for a car, their kids go to school because they sell cat raincoats. There is enough pie, cake, bread, cocoa bread, name it, for all of us to eat. And I feel that when entrepreneurs and business people, all the successful ones I've met, have this spirit of sharing, are always willing to give information or time. And don't get me wrong, your time is valuable. And those who will open up courses, like you now have Project B.O.S. going on. Again, that's a way to give back to your community, to see other people flourish, because really, what fun is it to be rich alone? Like, who you're going to hang out with, right?
No, but the thing about that is, there's this song, and I talk about this song. I need to find out what the song is called. It's so stupid. I remember, like, I have weird memories, but like in grade 1 or kindergarten, there was this song and we all had to sing it. And it went, love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you have so many more. It was it's something about you have more. And it's like, it's just like a magic penny, hold it twice and you don't hold it tight and you don't have any. Lend it, spend it, and you have so many. It rolls all over the floor. I don't know why I know this song. Listen, I don't know why I know this song, but it's in my head. And the magic penny mentality has, at some point in time, I started putting my boys on, but not just putting them on in a way where they always needed me. I really put them on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
they weren't really, Trish is one of them, but they weren't really in the position to do what I was doing. That wasn't their purpose. That wasn't their dream. So then when I started to get outside of my boys and I started putting on strangers, perfect strangers, rather than just have them give service to me, really put them on. Like, yo, take over this entire thing. You do this. This is your department. So much bread started coming back my direction that I am not selfish with bread. I'm not selfish with opportunity, because I know the secret that the more opportunity that I give away, the more opportunity comes my direction. I'm not just such a great Christian man that's like, oh, I just want to help everybody and help and heal the world. And I'm like, I know that helping people helps me. I can help 10 people and maybe only one person comes back and helps me, but that one person helps me so much. And it's so great that it was worth all the 10 people that I helped. Like, I don't care about just thinking about today and what you're going to do for me today and blocking your opportunities and staying in between. And even back to like, circling back, one of the fears that I have with coming up with these like, okay, we need dry cleaners, we need this, we need that. I need to first change a bunch of people's mentalities, like majority of the city, or at least a good portion of the city. So we put up a car wash and someone starts following us like, okay, now I'm going to put a car wash right there because they've done the research already. Don't put the car wash there. Go get a dry cleaners over here, bro. Like, we need to work together in building the thing. Stop repeating each other. If your brother, if your friend is a personal trainer and doing his thing as a personal trainer, start making weights and selling him weights. Start making shakes and selling him shakes. Don't be a fucking personal trainer too, man. Why are you both personal trainers? Unless you want to come and work under him until you get to a point where you're going to be a partner and you expand, and now you're the same personal training company. You have a location in Pickering, you have a location in Mississauga, you have a location in Scarborough, and you've all come together to do this. Why does Donovan's training have to compete with Tyrell's training, and then everybody, like, why? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Let us stop reinventing the wheel. Like you said, when things are established, go and help build that, get the advice to expand and move on. I absolutely, like, again, when we say here at Business Takeout that they're going to come and drop gems, are you guys writing fast enough? Because I'm busy clapping and I'm supposed to be writing, and these are the gems. Helping other people helps you. Like, outworking people will actually, sadly it's true, but it's going to be talent. Like, there's so many people that because they did something and they stuck with it, it's not that they were the best at it, not at all. No. They held out the longest. People better than them came and went, and they stuck it out. And when the dust settled, they were the only ones left. And now you have these years of reputation behind you. So listen to this man, because he's telling you the truth. You've got to give to get. And there's a lot of people, as I say all the time, clenched hands can't receive. If your hands are clenched real tight, you can't receive anything. You'd be amazed at what you get when you let go. So I'm holding you here way longer than we had you scheduled, but that's okay. Because we were running a little bit late. But one of the things, so we always ask here on the Soul of Business, you know, what matters to you in a social aspect. And, you know, there's been so much explosive things happening in 2020. I don't know why the term explosive diarrhea came to mind, but yeah, that's kind of how 2020 has been. And, you know, between COVID and like people just noticed that we're getting shot down in the streets and in our houses. And we were like, yeah, this has been happening for a minute.
Yeah, we've been here. This has been happening.
Been here, we've done that. And through going through your social media, it's quite easy to start to get a feel of what's important to you and what matters to you. And you have two, I guess, comic strips are the best way to describe them that I feel are so impactful, and I'm looking forward to sharing them out, because I don't know, sometimes maybe you've got to put it in a simpler context for people to understand, like a really big idea. And there was so much on your page for me to pick up on, but there was a video that you made, and that's what I'm going to ask you about. And in this video, which is at, I believe it was 1,600 views when I went on last, you were talking about how people who are not Black can help Black business. And
Yeah.
usually I ask you to pick what issue, because obviously now giving back, the juice press, Black people's health, Black people's wealth, your community, all of these things obviously matter to you because it shines through in everything that you do. You know, you don't just speak about it, you are about it. So that doesn't come under question. But then when I watched that video, it was very interesting because right out the box, you addressed the issue of white Yardie. Because I'm sure a lot of people come at you sideways. They're like, "So what's up with this white guy? Like you're promoting him."
To be honest, nobody has. Nobody has.
Really?
Yeah, nobody has. But
Really? But it might be
yeah,
because of what you said in the video about, as a person that is not Black, making sure that how you tread, you actually do tread lightly because you are in a minefield and you need to tread lightly. But in that video, you gave advice on how people who are not of color can help businesses that can help those who that they say that they're going to help. And I ask you to reiterate that now. If you are a white person and you look at the current social issues and you say, you know what, I want to help. So how did you put it? So I'm going to go and I'm going to raise money. And as you said, it's kind of like going and asking the homeless for donations to build themselves a shelter.
Okay.
Right? So break that down for us, Wes.
All right. So I had a video that I just put out today. And first of all, let's just get this out of the way. I am an extremely arrogant, ignorant person in my mind. That's the way I'm wired. That's the way God initially made me. But the fact that he also gave me so much logic, when I'm proven wrong, it has to chip away at that arrogance and ignorance slowly. So now that I'm up there in age, I'm way less arrogant and way less ignorant and way more compassionate and understanding than I used to be. And the reason why I even started out that way is just because I think about things, and if I feel that it's right, then it's 100%. This is the way it is. You can't tell me no different. But again, the logical side of my brain, once you start to show me a difference, I have to listen. Cool. So I have to understand, or I had to, and now do, that I am not you. You are not me. The way that I think about an issue is not going to necessarily be the way that you think about an issue. And if it is an issue that affects Black women, I can't tell you how Black women should feel, could feel, would feel, how you feel. I can logically think about it and surmise what my opinion of it is, but my opinion does not surpass your opinion, because guess what? You are a Black woman. A lot of the issues that happen with white people specifically, and other races too, but let's go with white people specifically, where they get caught with their foot in their mouth a lot of times is because they only see things through their lenses and their logic. And a lot of times that shit goes sideways for them, right? And that extends even to when they're trying to help. The video I put out today, I said very specifically, I cut the video and went back and did it again, helping women empower themselves, not helping to empower women. I am not the empowerer of women. I do not have all of this power to say, here you go, here is all the power that I have, because that would still have me be above you, right? What I have to do is help you empower yourself. I am helping you to get the power for yourself. I can't give you the power. That'll always have me above you. That little shift in language that most people wouldn't understand, most Black men that look like me and talk like me, well, not talk like me like this, but like regular talk like me, they would be like, yo, what's the problem? I'm trying to empower women. What is the issue with that? They'll look at it like, yo, the audacity of you to think that me helping you, like for you to look at me helping you sideways, right? That's the problem with a lot of white people. They think that whatever help that they're giving, we should just take it any which way they give it to us, right? They're not thinking about it from our perspective, and they're not sensitive to what we have gone through and what we have been through and what we feel like. They think that they understand, and they can never actually understand. So they just have to listen to us. In that particular situation, someone was trying to empower Black people by creating a nail list for Black-owned nail salons, and then charging Black-owned nail salons a donation in order to be on this list, because whatever fees she had to pay, yada, yada, yada. And I said, thank you, miss. We are fucking good. We don't need your help in creating something that we then have to pay you to do. It's either you make the donation yourself. If you want to go and to your pocket and put up the money and do that, that's fine. If you want to use your white or non-Black, whether it's white, Asian, South Asian, whatever it is, privilege to go to your, if it's Korean, you want to go to your Korean family members and say, hey, I really want to help Black people. And you collect the donations and come fucking help Black people. That is like me going to the homeless and saying, hey, everybody give me money so I can build you a homeless shelter. What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would I go to the people that are in the problem, having the problem, and collect resources from them to fix their problem? Go to other sources if you actually want to help fix their problem. Or shut the fuck up. Stay where you are, do your thing, live your life, and we will come together on our own and fix this problem. Or somebody else will help fix this problem without relying on us. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any
100%.
sense. It doesn't make any sense. And she couldn't, like, I can see the comments. I didn't ever at her, like tag her or go at her directly. I never mentioned the business or whatever, because I know she tried to come from a good place. I can see it in the comments or whatever, but I'm just like, you are too stupid to help Black people with anything. And I don't mean that in a way of actual brain capacity. It's ignorance. You are ignorant and stupid. You need to think about this before you get involved. And a lot of times, like I said, people that are trying to help, when their help is done incorrectly or by popular opinion within Black people incorrectly, they're turned off altogether. And it's like, all right, cool, well, that's fine. You know what I mean? If you weren't really here for that, if you actually came with the love in your heart or the caring in your heart that you actually want equality, you would be, first of all, have the presence of mind to know this is a sensitive issue and talk to people and figure it out in a way where you're always still going to possibly offend somebody, but there's some things that are just blatantly offensive. We can all kind of agree on why this is stupid. And if you were told that, hey, this doesn't make any sense, or this is offensive, or this is this, if you actually had it in your heart to care and help, that wouldn't stop you from your goal. You would step back and say, you know what? This group of people feel this way. Let me fix this and let me do this. And I said, the other problem that pissed me off, which was the conflict of interest. I said, I'm trying to not have this conflict of interest situation, but I had already put out a list and it was shared 3,000 times. So you could have came to me, like, you haven't done it was shared 3,000 times within the Black community 1 week before she did this. So she could have came to me, which was all over the place, or gone to any of those nail salons and had a conversation and said, hey, do you know anybody that's doing something like this? And she could have assisted a Black man help the Black community instead of starting her own effort to be the savior of fucking Black people. We don't need you, bro. Like,
listen, I really hope that anyone listening, this will be on replay. You can take the time and you can watch it again and listen to what he is saying. And I feel that the examples of homelessness and homeless people and of Black women, they're really good examples. And take your emotions and your ego out of it and listen to what he is saying. In order to help somebody, it's not about, very simply put, we don't want fish. We want to know how to fish.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because if you give us fish, we always have to come back to you for more fish. It is finite. Whereas if we learn the methods, if we have the tools, we have the rod, we have the string, we have the bait, we can now fish on our own. We can move to other areas and fish. And that is really what's needed. So again, allies are appreciated always, but you actually have to be an ally and not be another stumbling block or another block.
Gatekeeper.
Where it is.
Gatekeeper is what it is.
Yeah,
gatekeeper. Because we need you. We still need you to liberate us in getting into this list of Black-owned businesses to help. Like, what? No, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
We do not want to be driven. We want the keys. We want the car. We'll drive ourselves.
That's it. And don't get me wrong. Like, I'm totally open to learning and adapting and understanding and being more empathetic and sympathetic. I'm probably offended some Black people in this conversation somewhere. I'm not the speaker of all things Black, and I know that. But my issue is when someone takes issue with what you've said and you're not willing to correct it or not willing to understand their perspective, and their perspective is the perspective that matters. If I'm helping Black women, your perspective happens to just matter more than my perspective. No matter how helpful I want to be, if you feel a certain way, I have to understand and say, even if I choose to like pursue something that might not be directly in alignment with what you said as you one individual, I cannot discredit what it is that you've said. And I have to move forward with some sort of adjustment. Even if you're 1 in a million, I still have to somehow cross my T's and dot my I's that once I do whatever it is that I'm doing, I've addressed your concern in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Even if you're not happy with the way that I addressed it, that's now on you. Like, you can choose to not fuck with whatever it is that I'm doing or whatever. But if I'm like, yo, I understand that but this, cool. Like she said, like if she said that I really don't have the money to create this thing for myself, so I understand that asking you for money is yada yada, but I really need help in doing so. Cool. I'm just not fucking joining your shit. But like, at least you addressed in the fact of saying like, hey, right, I don't have this bread. I don't know where to get this bread. So the only people I know to get the bread from are the people that are going to benefit the most, yada, yada, yada. You addressed it. I can form my opinion that doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to support it. I'm going to boycott it. But I feel better that you at least address the situation. Not, hey, I don't understand. Like I'm trying to help. Like using things that just, did you hear what I said? If you were repeating, I'm trying to help, I heard that. But did you hear what I said? Did you hear why this doesn't work for us? You know what I mean? Right. Like, you just repeating like, oh, you should be, and I'm not saying that she said this, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the things that happen is like, you should be happy that I'm helping. You should right, just accept me as an ally. There's an application form for allyship. You know what I mean? You don't just get to be an ally because you fucking self-declared as an ally. Because a lot of those allies that are helping, they let a little N-word and a little fuck this, whatever, go in behind closed doors. We don't need you as an ally because you want to be an ally, I don't know, in the summertime, wintertime, springtime, on Thanksgiving, and Black History, February. That's a good time. You want to be a February ally. We don't need you as a February ally. There's an application. If I read your application and I find you out to be a February ally, I can definitely deny any type of affiliation with you as an ally because I don't know what the fuck you're going to say in March. Like, right. That's a concern for me. I don't want to be associated with you because I don't trust you like that. You know what I mean? Like, just because you want to help doesn't mean that you just get to do free reign to just be the savior. And that's another problem. I feel like a lot of these people want to be the savior for Black people. That pisses me off. Like, they want the credit for doing all of these amazing things. And that's like, it's kind of the opposite of what someone who actually wants to see real change come from would think. You know what I mean? Like I said to you, this Forest 360 thing, I didn't want to do this. This has been the thorn in my side. I know what is needed to do this. I know how much hard work is needed. I don't want to lead Black people to the most prosperous period era. Like, I have to, because it's not happening. Like, I feel an obligation to my people to educate. I feel an obligation to lend my time. I feel an obligation to keep speaking on platforms. I was doing lives 3 to 4 hours, and you can see from this conversation with me how a conversation can easily go 3-4 hours. But I was doing that for 3-4 hours every Sunday, and it was draining and it was exhausting. But I knew the importance of it. You know what I mean? That's where I actually made the decision to say, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna do Forest 360. Like, I have to. But it was in the 3-4 hour lives that I was doing, talking about issues that started from George Floyd. I'm gonna go light skin mode for a minute. Yeah, okay, cool.
Well, yeah. I again, we will drop the links for your social media in the comments after this post. I really recommend that you go and you listen to some of these lives. The issues are draining. If you haven't noticed the theme, Black people keep telling you we're tired and we're exhausted, and it's really real. But as he said, when you have a voice, when you have a platform, it really does become a matter of no choice. I myself feel the same way. I cannot stay silent. It's sometimes I'd rather not talk. I wish I liked cats and I could just like cat videos, but that is not why I was given this voice. That is not why I was given this audience, and I have to do something with it. So now that I've kept you like half an hour past the time I was supposed to.
Yeah, so is this my fault? I started late with you.
Oh no, I love passion.
I all night.
I love passion. I love the fact that what you are speaking about matters to you. And that's the beauty of interviewing people who are passionate about what they do. The conversation can go on forever. When you care about what it is that you're doing and it truly matters to you, you can talk about it forever. And that is why I love doing this, is because I get to hear people's passion. And just as importantly, I love the idea of educating others and inspiring others to do more. So for those of you out here, and I would love for you to drop your comments under this video, listening to Wes and hearing some of the things, and I will recap, and please, you give me your nuggets if I haven't hit them all. But one of the first things was outworking people, that you may not necessarily be the best in your field, but if you do something and you work to do it properly and you stick to it, you will actually win the race by outworking people. As was said, he does nothing halfway. If you're going to do something, do it with your whole self. If it's a project that you can't dedicate yourself to, put it on the side, or better yet, give it to someone who can run with it at the time. Because every good idea that you give away, you will get back wealth and connections and partners triplefold. So do not be afraid of letting go of ideas or giving them to someone worthy, so that you can continue to focus and work on what you're doing, so that that idea can be birthed and can be given life and can keep going. Another absolutely great gem that he dropped was, in the same vein, helping people helps him. You help somebody else and it's going to help you. And then spending in our community. Is that business advice? I say yes, it is. It is really important to keep your dollars within your community for as long as you possibly can. And no, as you said, we don't all have car washes. We don't have all of these things yet, but in keeping that money within the community, these things will happen. And one of my logics in this is, I live in Pickering, and I've gone around, I've gone around, and in the 4 years I've been here, I've met different businesses. And every time I encounter a young or old Black person that has a business, I get to know them, I frequent the business. And you know, this is not altruistic on my part. I have children. And my hope is that one day when my son needs a stage or they want to work somewhere, I can say, listen, go check Conrad down the street. He has a such and such, and he could probably hire you for the summer. Go and check Martin. You can be an apprentice in da-da-da-da-da. It ends up coming right back to you. It is a wealth building habit. And it is a bit harder. Sometimes we got to go further. Sometimes it will cost a bit more. But again, when you're in need, you have people in your community that can help you because their wealth has been built up. So as you said, Wes, it is a mind shift change. It is helping people change the way they think about things. There's been much effort and time put into brainwashing us against ourselves. And it's going to take a heck of a lot to undo it, but it can be done. And it's men like Wes and his efforts with Focus 360, and even through the comedy. You have to understand how healing comedy is. But when you're conscious about it and you're thinking about it, how far-reaching it can be in helping us as a community. Did I drop the gems right? Did I?
You did. You definitely did. I appreciate that summary, and this has been an amazing interview. I really appreciate what it is that you're doing here. Addendums to what you said. I have to, like, first of all, thank everybody who I'm now, 23 years an entrepreneur, and majority of my business ventures have been successful. And the reason why majority of my business ventures have been successful is because Black people, my community, have been supporting me from literally day one. So people say that Black people don't support Black people. That's not true.
So live.
That is not true. It might be we need to support each other more, but for whatever reason, like I have just walked a path where I've gotten nothing but blessings from my community, and I never forget that. Every time people want to speak ill of Black people not supporting Black people, I always have to say, hey, they support me. They've always supported me, and they support me. So thank you. Also, and Black women specifically, Black women have always held me down, always supported me. Like they come out in droves to my shows. I want to say that this interview that we've been doing for probably almost an hour, we barely spoken about comedy, and comedy is where 80% of my income has come from. 80% of what I've done, 80% of my success has come from comedy. Now, I'm gonna change the last one. Not 80% of my success. I would say income. If you have success and money in the same breath, then okay, yeah, just comedy. But I've done so many things that have been so much more rewarding for me, and all the cornerstones of skills that I needed for juice comedy, that those things were equally as important. So I just want to acknowledge that you don't have to, what you're passionate about and what's the most meaningful doesn't necessarily have to be the thing that pays you the most either, right? I wanted to touch on that. Also, what you said, shout out Barry Booth in Pickering, who gave me my first job at 14 years old, because I was wanted to be a DJ so badly that I used to hang out in his store. He has a DJ equipment store, System Music Warehouse, just east of White's Road on Kingston Road. And from working from there to now him doing selling my rentals for these big shows that I'm doing, and his daughter comes to my shows, whatever, it's just full circle. I've had a lot of great people in my life. Him from the beginning, Tony at Ticket Gateway and Ticket Gateway and Printing Press in Scarborough, Carmen Guerreri at Cherry Beach Sound downtown, and Bruno at the Queen Elizabeth Theater. Those 4 people. I'm probably leaving out some others, but if there was cornerstones to my success, or the most, without any one of those people, I would not be where I'm at today. And it's all because they gave me an opportunity that I probably either wasn't exactly qualified for on paper, or believed in me when nobody else really would have given me that same chance. I always talk about those people, and I want to be one of those people for somebody else, and I want to work with others in being those people for other people as well. That's why the 4S 360 thing is so important. Like you said, somewhere for your son to work, somewhere for your kids to work, and someone to mentor people into different areas of entrepreneurship and business ownership and things that we didn't necessarily have. You know what I mean? Those people, some of them are Black, some of them are brown, some of them are white. Of the people that I just mentioned, it's a mixture of people, but they were all business owners and entrepreneurs that showed me things that's where I got certain knowledge and certain opportunities and gems from. We need to have more leaders in the community that are able, not even that, I think we have a lot of people that would be willing, but they're not set up necessarily in the best place to do these things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We have to support Black businesses and have them grow bigger, so they can mentor more people, they can employ more people, so they can do more for our communities. You know what I mean? So it's a catch-22 thing. It's a one hand wash the other thing. We definitely have to adjust our mentalities to a real mentality of a collective and not just individuals. You know what I mean? That's
yeah, people keep trying to call, but
Wes, all good.
I'm really grateful for this conversation. You will be hearing from me shortly, because I feel that we have more to discuss. It's really a pleasure to speak to a business owner that has so much heart. Having heart is not the same as having a heart. Having heart is when you believe in things strongly and you stand by them, you defend them, and you action your words. And that I thank you for, from our community, for being one of those men that will lead, that will mentor, that will make it that there are businesses in 5 years, in 10 years, that children and young adults and adults can go to and find the inspiration, the employment, the funding, the partners, the cooperation that's going to build our community to be what it can be. We are so fabulous as a people. There's so many industries that completely capitalize on our talents, our creativity, our uniqueness. And it is time that we step to the forefront and we take ownership of our talents and our differences and work with each other, as well as working with the greater community that we live in at large. But first, let's get our ducks right, people. And again, Wes, I thank you so much for your time. I really do. I know you're a busy man, and I'm always honored when the greats take the time to speak to me. So I thank you. And so just tell people real quick where they can find you, and I will drop the links below. Where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, dope. My main platform is Instagram at WesHype. I do share things over to my Facebook, which is also Facebook/WesHype. My Twitter, all that is all WesHype. But the main place to find me, interact with me, you want to get the fastest response from me, at WesHype on Instagram.
On Instagram, perfect. And we will drop those links. So you have me, Miss Erica Edwards, here on the Erica Edwards Show, working through Business Takeout. Again, so much love to my producer, who's probably like, Erica, when are you coming off? Banki Designs, I thank you so much for all that you do, especially connecting me with this wonderful man here tonight. And guys, I will be back, same time, same place. Maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, depends on how much we have to talk about. But I thank you so much for joining me once again. I thank you for all your support. And again, check out Wes's IG, listen to those videos, scroll through. The links for some of the people that he is management for are right in his bio. So you could just click and you will see the other people that make us laugh. And again, Wes, I thank you. And keep going. And I hope that after this whole COVID madness, I get to run into you in our neighborhood, seeing as we're in the same place.
Definitely. I'm downtown now, but I'm in Pickering enough. So yeah.
Okay, I got people out here. All right. So you have a good night. Thank you guys. And we will see you again. Good night.
All right. Take care.